Alice Daybreak here on Risings, and it's time for the press preview. First look at what's on the front pages of the papers. We start with our sister publication, This Day newspaper, which has on its front page Buhari or Osinbajo, Northern Elders Forum, that's the NEF, CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, flagrant killing of pregnant women, children in Anambra State. This has about 4 riders. These printings are not quite clear. 4 riders would take that later. Well, at the topmast, a Swiss firm which paid bribes to NNPC officials for crude contracts fined $1.1 billion in dollars in US. Nigeria officials collected more than $52 million, says State Department. And then in the orange stripe there, just above this day logo, Obidom's PDP may contest presidential poll on another party. That's coming from this day. This is found on page, I can't see that clearly. That's from this day. Let's go on to all the papers.
The Punch this newspaper this morning leading with this headline. It says, shock as Peter Obi dumps PDP protests mar governorship primaries. Some riders to that story. Obi Kwakwanso Talk Coalition. Niger primary shifted. Youth stone Ishaku's convoy. Gunshots as Adebutulawa supporters clash and disrupt Ogun PDP primaries. Opponent kicks as Makinde wins. Ikwere Madu and Baribe others withdraw. Just below that, 3 photos on the front page this morning with the caption, rescue train passengers before terrorists kill them. Families beg President Buhari. Of course, the Rise News we just aired earlier an exclusive report on that issue. Let's take more headlines from the Punch newspaper. Soludo declares a curfew as women and children killed by gunmen were buried. That's on page 12.
Moving on to the Nation newspaper. Now it's leading with outgoing governors' men pick PDP tickets in states. Okowa's choice beats Ibori's anointed in Delta. Stella Odua failed to complete youth service, the NYC affirms. 14 victims of Borno killings tied, shot at close range.
All right, we'll look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian says 2023, Obi quits PDP, eyes Labour NNP tickets. Of course, NNP is a party of Kwankwaso, the Kwankwasiya movement. PDP Northern Elders with about 2 riders there. PDP Northern Elders look to North Central for candidate, insist consensus is pathway to stability. Legal move to stop PDP presidential primary fails. APC chair hints on consensus speak for party's presidential flag bearer. And then on Ondo, APC aspirants reject imposition of Ibrahim. That's below that top story. PDP Guba primary, Makinde Fintiri gets second term tickets. And then just above that picture you're watching there, Zulum confirms 35 killed, 6 injured in Borono attack. By the side, Deborah Samuel, pastor donates estate, car to family in Rivers. Killings presidency urges restraint over viral violence videos. Abuja, Kaduna train attack. Victims' families ask government to heed terrorist ultimatum. We were discussing that a while ago here on the program. That's the Guardian.
Well, the Daily Sun this morning, similar headlines. 2023, anxiety, crisis rock PDP. Peter Obi pulls out of presidential primary, alleges gang up as he dumps the party. Photos there of Makinde, Fubara, Eno, Uba, Mba, Bade, Ikone, and others win PDP gubernatorial. Some riders, successful primaries hold in Oyo, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Benue, Enugu, Abia, and others. Ikwere Madu Luke, Abaribe, Abia Deputy Governor, and others withdraw from race in protest. And just beside that, Buhari mourns Borno Katsina terror victims, vows perpetrators will face justice. This comes as Zulum confirms 32 killed by ISWAP over the weekend. Just below that, federal government to ban refrigerators, air conditioners by 2023. If you want to know more about that, check out the Sun page 25. And just beside the nameplate of the Daily Sun, Soludo imposes 6 p.m., 6 a.m. curfew on Anambra, which begins today.
Okay, for the international papers, we will be taking the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, but the Wall Street Journal first. Texas shooter told of plans and eluded guard. Families remember beautiful angels.
The Times, energy bill handouts to ease the big squeeze. Those are the two international papers that we're taking, I guess. Great report vindicates me over number 10 parties claims Johnson. That's Johnson's claim there. All right, I think that will be it for the international papers. We look at what this day is saying. Buhari Osinbajo NEF can. Buhari Osinbajo NEF can flay killings of pregnant women, children in Anambra. This has been making the round. In fact, it was because of this killing that the governor of the state, Soludo, has declared a curfew in Anambra State. You have here those behind the barbarous killings in Southeast will be hounded by security forces. Presidency is assuring this, and Soludo declares curfew in 8 local government areas. Bars Okada, tricycle operations on Mondays. I mean, this is quite interesting, you know.
Yes, the situation in Anambra State is, we've been having a conversation about it, and I've wondered how much longer does the government need to wait before they take action. Of course, days ago, I asked Emmanuel about this same issue, and I wonder, I mean, if the governor cannot handle the security situation, what's stopping him from speaking to the federal government?
No, he's been taking action.
In fairness to the governor, he's been
even
taking
from the speech I just sent to you. He's done quite a lot within the period he came into power. He said he has called for meetings, security agencies, and even the security agencies are doing their best. He even called out the people from the forest where they're hiding, and he said they've made quite a lump sum of money provided for youth empowerment. And he's called them, sheet your salt, come, let's discuss, and we bring you into, viable ventures. You know, he's done all this, even with the security people. Yet, these things are happening, and that's why now he's not really taking things lightly. Starting with the curfew, he wants to go hard on criminality. From his first speech when he took over government, he said you cannot cloak criminality with the garb of agitation. He says, who agitates and begins to kill his people? An Akara woman killed in front of her house while she was frying Akara, and the Lord make her the neck cut off. Then the lady and her 4 children killed. Before that, chiefs were holding a meeting and they went to shoot them there. Who does that? So he's done, and he's doing quite a lot.
Kichi, we're going to say something.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say what Ndi has said, and I agree with him. So let's move on to another story that everyone's talking about. Peter Obi has left the PDP. He stated on his letter that he has resigned. He still has the zeal and he still has the intentions of bettering Nigeria. He just has to do it on another route. And the DG of his campaign was here, Doyin Okupe, and he said Peter Obi leaving PDP is not the end of his presidential journey. His name will be on the ballot ticket. We just don't know if it will be with the Labour Party, NNPP. Some people say it's going to be the ADC. We don't know about that. But my thought on Peter Obi leaving the PDP just days to the presidential election gives
primaries.
Thank you, Ken. Gives a sort of dent to the party just close to the election, and some analysts are saying that this now reduces the chances of the PDP putting forward any Southeast candidates. What are your thoughts?
Well, some would say he never stood a chance in the before now, because there is the South Governor Nyesom Wike, and then there is the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who we haven't seen him going across the country. I mean, of all the candidates in the PDP, it was only Peter Obi who went across most of the states. Right, and our director of news, Sam Samba, was with him all the way.
Yes.
He was the only one who travelled across.
Well, because we were reporting, probably because we were reporting.
Well, okay, fine.
Well, we're reporting everybody.
We were reporting everybody, and we've seen him canvassing and asking people for votes. But there's still that issue that he's from the southeast Anambra state, and both parties have not yet come to a consensus to zoning.
Well, what I find funny is that his letter dated 24th, 20th was the time he wrote his word and said he was quitting PDP. So I don't know why he continued to, we need to go. All right, well, that's it for today.